Hello, everyone, and welcome to your healing subscription. We are doing a Merkaba balance today, focusing on the heart chakra. I have your layout all done, and I've got most of the work set out. So we're just going to dive in and actually do the work. So I've done all of the dowsing and checked that everything is in place for this session. So as always, I'm going to bring up some emotions, or thoughts, or feelings, or words. This may or may not connect with you. If you feel that any of the words you connect or you do not connect with, then just imagine if you had that word within your life, how would you act or react or feel about that word? So again, if you have the word, tie it to a situation or a feeling and really allow yourself to feel that feeling on a very deep level. The saying always goes, the deeper we feel, the deeper we heal. So we want you to be able to pour all of your feelings into whatever the word is that's coming up. These words, again, they are relevant to the entire group. We're doing a group session. So this is something that we're diving into the group consciousness, and we want to clear on the group consciousness. And group healing is actually quite powerful because it's not just your own story, it is everybody in the group story, and we're all coming together to clear that together. So as you do your clearing, you also help the other people in the group heal and clear. And likewise, everybody else who's doing their work in the group helps other people to heal and clear. So we're all working together as a team and as a group. Okay, so let's share screen and then we can dive in. So as always, I'm going to ask you to just take a moment to look at this light code activation. This is our tune in and connect code. And this is to make sure that we're all tuning into the same point, our same focus, and the same awareness, and that you are tuning into this particular healing that's happening right here, right now. And of course, whenever you watch this back at a later stage, you'll be tuning into this particular healing session with everybody else. So just take a moment to look at that, allow your eyes to rest where they do. Perhaps they're tracing the pattern, perhaps they're just looking at one particular spot. That's okay. There's no right or wrong answer here. And I want you to just tune into your heart space and focus on what it is that you would like to bring into your life with today's healing session. Is it healing that you need? Is it guidance? Is it clearing? What would you like for your life and for your health? This is mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, all levels. What would you want for yourself in today's session? So get your intention. Perhaps even write down your intention. If you haven't done so yet, you may always pause the video. And every word or emotional feeling that I'm going to bring up today, see if you can connect that back to your intention. What does the word mean in relation to your intention? Again, whenever you need more time, just pause the video. So in relation to your intention for today, the emotion that came up was hindrance, and it's in relation to a specific time. So I had to douse to check what the specific time was, and the specific time said the last 2 years. So a hindrance is obviously something that is providing a resistance or a delay or any obstruction, any blockage that we have. And I'm sure we all have had some blockages and hindrances over the last 2 years. How does hindrance in the last 2 years relate to your intention and your focus? Now, here's the tricky thing. Dimension that's added to this dimension is to give us extra guidance as to what this hindrance is all about. This is, I mean, I'm struggling a little bit with this one, but perhaps you guys have it a bit easier. The dimension on top of this is karma. So whatever the blockages are that we've had over the last 2 years, the hindrances that we've had over the last 2 years, all of these are related to karma. Now, part of me is going like, probably my ego side's going a little kicking and screaming, going like, what the hell? I've been working really hard to clear karma over the years. What is all of this about? But I think to experience karma on such a global level means that this is old stuff. This is not necessarily just from this life, and it's not just personal to who each of us are. This is perhaps karmic stuff on a humanitarian level or on a human level. So this is big stuff. I think we're all shifting and clearing that. I'm still feeling like, why us? Why do we have to do it? I'm struggling a little bit with this karma story, so I'm definitely going to be focusing a little bit more on the karma side for myself within the session, and to hopefully cleanse and clear those blockages and stuff. So perhaps you've got more of a trigger in relation to hindrance, or perhaps you've got more of a trigger towards the last 2 years. Find where your trigger sit and allow yourself to dive into that trigger, feel into the trigger, and feel what it's like to just allow that trigger to come up without any judgment. It's there. Let's feel it. I tuned in to check what our stress levels were in relation to whatever your specific goal or intention is. And I got about a 68%. It's not too bad, but there's still a stress there. Our life energy towards the goal, whatever it is that you're choosing, is 15%. So the life energy is very low in relation to actually receiving or moving in towards your goal. Then I tuned in to find out what our sabotage is. And the sabotage in relation to whatever your goal is I do not need to be in control, or I need to be in control. So just dive into that one a little bit. Whatever it is that you are focusing on for your intention, where do you feel that you need to be in control, and where do you feel you do not need to be in control? What does this mean for you? Our emotion that comes up in relation to this shadow belief or limiting belief or sabotage is help in relation to victory. So how do you feel about receiving help? Now, especially if you tie this in with, I need to be in control. Do you allow yourself to ask for help when you need help? And if you ask for help, do you allow yourself to receive help so that you can move into the space of victory? So just allow that to sit for a little bit and feel into that. Just want to do a few quick pre-tests just to see how it's all working. So I want you to just look at the black screen and allow yourself just to focus on that. So eyes staring at the black screen. And where's my pendulum? Just check in. So focusing on the black. Are you stuck in your ideas? Okay, so pendulum is giving me a swing over there. So this is definitely a yes. Turn your head over to the left as far as you can. Do you take care of yourself? So let's turn the head over to the right as far as you can. Do you take care of yourself? Okay. Here the pendulum is spinning as well. So there's issues around taking care of self, and the stuck in your own ideas. Those are associated with fixations. So fixations is when we get stuck on thinking about a specific issue. So we're probably getting stuck in the head and so. So for today's session, what came up is a tree of life balance. And so I'm combining this with the Merkaba balance using the universal pendulums. So let's have a look at what's happening within this particular space. So the layout that I currently have. I'm using the Wands of Horus cards, or the Baka cards as I call them for short. They are these very small little cards. Some of you know about these already. They are based on magnetic research, orgonite research, tachyon research, radiesthesia, sacred geometry, and ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs and myths and beliefs and things like that. So this is a healing system that I'm developing myself, and it's still in sort of, it's the early stages, so there's not many of these decks around. Not yet. I'm working on it and getting them out. And basically each card has a magnet inside, and then it's got chips within it, of different combinations, which represents the different energetic frequencies that we have. And then each card's got an image on, so that it makes it easy for me to see and distinguish which one's which. Otherwise, you just have this little blank thing, you don't know which one you're working with. And each of them's got a front and a back, so they can send or receive energy. And so let's have a look at what we have over here. So the first card in the crown section over here is a Radiance card. And the crown of the Tree of Life, this is where the energy is coming in. So it's sort of the beginning of the lightning bolt. You can see there's these arrows that goes like that. This is our lightning bolt in which we are bringing the energy through from the heavens into where we are right now. So this is all in relation to your specific goal. So right on top in the crown, we're looking for that radiance. This is where we want to remove the darkness. We want to remove the heaviness and depression, the sadness, and we want to infuse with joy and bring that brightness and joy and happiness and all of that energy in. Then when we go down, we go to the wisdom section, and here we've got the bar card. Now bar, and this is why you'll see I'm talking about the bar card cards. The bar is the yin aspect of energy. So if we look at Chinese medicine, they talk about yin and yang. So Ba is yin, and here's the Ka. Ka is the yang aspect. So we've actually got both of them sitting opposite each other. And so the Ba Ka cards means yin yang cards. Okay, so the Ba aspect is seen as the soul. In ancient Egyptian mythologies, we've got 8 different bodies, and the Ba is one of the 9 bodies that we have. Did I say 8 bodies? We've got 9 bodies. This is one of the 9 bodies, and the Ba is associated with the goddess Isis, and so the Ba is all about your personality. So what makes you unique from another person? When the bar comes up, this is now wisdom section. When it comes up here, what it's saying is that we're receiving some form of an upgrade, an energetic upgrade. So something is needed at this time in your inner journey, so that we can actually move into our new space. So our wisdom that we're receiving is this new energetic upgrade that's coming through. Then when we go to our understanding section on this side, we've got the air card, and air is all about contracting, and it's about inward movement. So for our understanding, we need to go within to go find where this is sitting. Then when we go to our knowledge or our gnosis, this is Sekhem, or the power card. And this is all about stepping into your own personal power. It could be associated with your life force energy or vitality, things like that. But it's really about tuning into our physical surroundings, and also it's about taking action, like really diving in and doing that. Then we've got the mercy section over here, which is the earth card. And earth, I find that when the earth card comes up, it's almost like a priority function. So it's wanting to draw our attention through to the section. And so where do we need to be merciful towards ourselves, and also towards others, and towards situations, things like that? Where can we ground and anchor that mercy into our lives? Over into the strength section, we've got Shuyet, and Shuyet is another one of the 9 bodies. This is our shadow. Now, the shadow itself is all about holding lessons and gifts. And normally what we do, especially as healers, and so we deny the shadow. Actually, not even as healers, most people do. You deny your shadows. You don't allow people to see your bad or negative side. But your bad or negative side's got a place, and it's got a time. It's got a time when it can really help you. So this is really about integrating your shadow over here. This is where our strengths lie, within the shadow. And actually, funny enough, I find that the shadow card comes up in this strength section many times when I'm using the Tree of Life balance. Into the equilibrium position in the center, we've got the Ka card, which is associated with astral body. So this is our young energy. So this is associated with Horus. So we've got Isis on the side, Horus on the side. And the Ka is seen as your vital life force energies, your astral body. And the Egyptians believed that at birth, the goddess Heket or Meskenet, the goddess of childbirth or the goddess of fertility, would breathe your Ka into you. And that's what gave you your life, or that's what animates you. And it's believed that even after you die, your Ka still needs nourishment. And so your Ka actually gets nourishment from food and sustenance and things like that. This is our equilibrium. Where can we bring our equilibrium in to that balance? So it's the young energy is also about getting active, like really getting moving. And so perhaps you've been holding back a little bit and you haven't allowed yourself to really move into the direction what it is that you're wanting to go. So this is an invitation to do that. Then we go down into the victory section, and this is all about the awareness. So this is our awareness card. It's associated with ether. So it's when we look at the 5 element or 4 elements in normal traditional earth, air, fire, water, then ether would be the 5th element. And so our victory is sitting within that ether quality. Then we go over to the glory, and there we've got fire. Fire is this upward and outward movement. So here where we had the inward movement, this is saying we need to move outward now into our understanding and respect and so on. And so it's interesting that we've got the air and the fire on the opposite side of the shadow, because fire is normally attracted to air. So where there's air, the fire will move in that direction. So our fire is actually moving through the shadow and into the section. So perhaps the fire is also helping to burn away at this, the shadow side that we are denying or that we're not working through. Then into the foundation, we've got the union card, and this is all about bringing balance to the bar and the Ka. So we've taken the bar and the Ka, we're bringing balance into both of these. And the union is about our bridge between the spiritual as well as the physical. And so it's the journey between the head and the heart. And this is where we are sitting in the foundation section. And all of this is leading us down to the kingdom, which is the Ankh, which is associated with life. And so this is everything that we're working with in life itself. So I think this is quite a good balance to work with. I'm going to be working with the Merkaba pendulums, the universal pendulums, over this as we're progressing with the work as well. I was also guided to draw 3 cards from the Book of Doors. And the cards that came up was, so I sort of looked at it as past, present, future. And the first card that came up is Kerh. Now, Kerh is one of the primordial gods in ancient Egypt, and it's about a transmission of energy. So it's about the realization of plans, taking like actually getting to a point where you're realizing I've got plans or I've got ways that I want to move forward. So you know that you're wanting to get there, and now you almost need the action behind that. But this is still in the phase where you're just realizing you're receiving the transmissions, but it hasn't moved yet. Okay, so this is in the past. Now the present card, I must say I'm not very happy about this particular card. This is one of those little cards that you normally want if you see it coming up in a spread, you go eek. This is Amit, and Amit is the eater of souls. So if you look at Egyptian mythologies, when you die and you go through to before you get into the afterlife, your heart is weighed next to the feather of Ma'at, the feather of truth. And if your heart does not weigh up, Amit sits ready to eat you, and she eats your soul so that you never ever return again. So it's not even like you go to hell. It's like you don't exist. You're gone. If your heart weighs up against the feather of truth, then you're fine and you move on. But Amit, she's a scary one. And usually when Amit comes up, it indicates that there's great danger, or there is perhaps some danger around. Or it could indicate that in order to overcome the adversity that you currently are sitting with, it's going to take a lot of courage. So I think where we're sitting right now, whatever it is that you're focusing on goal-wise and whatever, you need to scrape up every ounce of courage that you can, and it's going to be worth it. But you've actually got to do it. The monkeys are sitting on their bums, and the message I'm getting is you've got to get off your bums and you've got to do this. If you don't do this, you're probably going to regret this forever. Okay, so this is the time now. Even if it's scary, get the courage together. You need to start putting things into action. And then our final card is the Neta Neteru, and we can't ask for anything better than this. The only reason I did not get another card to go on top of Amit to sort of soften the blow, to find out more information, is that we got the next card, which is Neta Neteru. And Neta Neteru is our future card, and it says that anything can be done. There's nothing that's impossible, and we need to expect the unexpected. So this is like the most positive outcome that we can possibly have. So I'm very happy with that. But you are probably sitting in a tough time at the moment with whatever is going on. Scrape all of your courage together and do what you need to do to get to where you need to get, or to bring into the world what you need to bring into the world. So I placed those cards at the base of the layout. I've actually got the layout here next to me. I've got it on the floor because universal pendulums, their strings are very, very long. So I can't have it on the table. I'll be sitting up there with the string. So I've placed them there, and I've placed the female or the divine feminine card on the Kerh, which is our initiation that we received, or that realization of plans. And then I've placed the divine masculine, or the sort of the driving force behind the Neta Neteru. So we're receiving into the feminine, and then we acting out of the masculine. And Amit is just sitting in the middle, and she's just playing a little policeman. So we're going to just skip ahead without her so that we don't have to be eaten by her, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's where we are now. So now we're going to go into our balance work, and let's see what comes up in today's session. So now I'm going to have to refer to my notes. Where is all of that? Let me quickly just get this out. Oops. Okay. Right, so just close your eyes, drop into your heart space. Just get a sense of what it feels like inside your heart. From your heart center connection into the earth, into the center of the earth. And allow yourself to anchor into the earth. From your heart center connection up to the center of all that is. Source, God, Creator, whatever is appropriate for you. And allow that energy to stream down to where you are right now. And from your body also stream all the way into the earth, into the heart of the earth. So we've got this constant stream of energy going. So we are starting off with activating our Merkaba field. Now, the emotion that came up in relation to where we are right now, just keep focusing on your heart, the heart of the earth, and the heart of all that is. The emotion that comes up is robot, or the feeling robot, and it's in relation to leadership. Where do you feel like a robot when it comes to leadership? We are working with the one universal pendulum. This is the white one because it's got a little white tip. And we've got to go into our electrical spectrum, and we're looking at the color orange. So I'm tuning in, moving the little band over the orange meridian, or the red meridian, which is the electrical meridian. I'm looking for the O, which is orange. So I'm lining everything up there. And we are on the third octave. So this is first octave, second octave, and third octave. So as you can see, it's quite long over here. Okay. So I'm going to get this energy going in here. I must say the energy is actually feeling quite sluggish over here. We are activating our Merkaba field, so we want this energy to be nice and strong. So what we're doing with orange is we're clearing away any blockages that there may be within the Merkaba field. That's why this one's feeling so sluggish. So orange in general is all about elimination and removing waste. It's about purging, clearing, cleansing. And the third octave is about the physical level. So we're actually probably going to be working on the physical level, on the kidneys, on the bladder, colon, maybe even on the muscular level. It really feels like this pendulum is actually swinging through molasses. It is so slow. So just your focus is to focus on that emotion or the feeling of a robot in relation to leadership. Flush away what no longer serves here. Be aware of any sensations in the body, maybe even in the mind. Okay, pendulum is coming to a slow down. Almost done. Yeah, good. Next, we're going to adjust our flow of energy over here. We are looking at the electric meridian again. So red and infrared. Where's my infrared? There. Okay, so we're on the electric meridian as well, the red one. And this one is on our first octave, so the string is really, really short. And our radiostatic color that we're bringing in is not necessarily actually a color over here. This is light beings. And sorry, where am I looking? I'm looking at the LBs. We're bringing in infrared. That's why this one didn't feel right. Let me quickly just get my color. Not infrared, ultraviolet, sorry. Ultraviolet. Okay, let's try this again. Bringing ultraviolet in on the red meridian. And it's octave 1. So ultraviolet is a very high frequency energy, and also the pendulum is spinning much faster. This is where we're adjusting our flow of energy within the Merkaba. So this is all about expanding the mind, perception. It's also really, really good at working with the DNA, so it repairs the DNA. And our first octave is working on the spiritual level. So the first one that we had where we cleared was quite a physical level. And now we're beaming in the ultraviolet from a spiritual level. I'm actually getting very, very small little, almost like tingling sensations all over my crown and into my face. Okay. Pendulum spin is almost done. Okay, there we go. Reset this pendulum again. Okay. So next what we're doing is we're going into the activity of the Merkaba, and we're actually going to split it into its different fields. Now, if you don't know the Merkaba is this tetrahedron, so it's like a three-sided pyramid. There's one pointing up and one pointing down, and they are spinning in opposite directions. So this is a massive field that we have around our bodies. Some say the Merkaba is the size of a house. So we are working with that field. So our emotion, when we look at measuring, I'm just measuring over here, I'm not really fixing anything, but what we want to do is we just want to check in on each of the emotions of each of those triangles or tetrahedrons. The upward facing actually wait, let's start. Overall, Merkaba, the emotion that comes up here is obscure, and it's in relation to appearance. Obscure in relation to appearance. So where are you obscuring maybe your appearance? Where are you not allowing others to see you? Again, look at your whatever it is that your focus is or your intention. How can you bring obscure and in relation to appearance in line with what your your intention is for today's session? Pause the video if you need to. The upward facing tetrahedron, so that one is associated with success and in relation to pleasure. So this is also when I look at the activity within the Merkaba, our activity is not really great. It's actually quite low, but the most active one of the two is the upward facing tetrahedron and success in relation to pleasure. So what does that bring up for you? So it may be that you feel great about it, or you may feel that you're not feeling great about it. You may feel that you're in alignment with this, or perhaps you feel like you're not in alignment with it. Just feel into what does that mean for you. The downward facing tetrahedron is about real and in relation to listening. So real as in the real deal, the real thing. How can you get real with listening? And what does that mean for you in relation to your particular goal that you're focusing on? Okay, now we're going to do some fixing. So let's start working. So we're going into the black pendulum. Oops, there it is. And I'm working on the magnetic scale, which is the blue meridian around the center. And the color that we need to bring through is black. A strange one. For over here, for the heart, black. And I'm on the second octave. So the emotion that comes up here is brood, and it's in relation to satisfaction. Brood and in relation to satisfaction. So when we brood, we're sitting on something. Are we maybe sitting on our satisfaction? Or are we waiting for our satisfaction to come to fruition? And perhaps we need to be a little bit more active instead of sitting waiting for it. So the second octave is about the mental emotional side. And black is about the mystery. It's about the divine feminine. It's also about detoxifying, and it helps to absorb energies, especially if it's heavy, dense energies. And what it does, it also intensifies or bring up to the surface our unconscious or our subconscious. So brood in relation to satisfaction. And just perhaps focus on the heart space, because this is where we're clearing. And perhaps visualize any heavy, dense, low frequency energy sitting in the heart, being pulled out and transmuted. And whatever cannot be transmuted is maybe going down into the heart of the earth, and allow the heart of the earth to transmute that, like composting. If anything was transmuted outside of the body, then just bring that light transmutation into the body again. So remember, when we take anything out of the body, we want to bring that back in again. Because if you take something out and you don't put something back, then you leave a hole. And if there's a hole, the universe will always fill it with something. And it may not always be what you want to fill it with. So if you take any heavy, dense energies out, have it transmuted, and the transmuted energy, the clear, pure, high frequency energy is what you put back. In Andean shamanism, we talk about Hucha and Sami. I love working with that. Hucha is low frequency energy, heavy, dense energy. Sami is that fizzy, tingly, bubbly, high frequency energy. And the Andeans did not judge whether Sami or Hucha is good or bad. Instead, the saying goes, one person's Sami is another person's Hucha, and one person's Hucha is another person's Sami. So your Sami is going to be your highest frequency that you can receive right now, and that's appropriate for you. And your Hucha is low frequency dense energies that's no longer serving you in this moment. So we're releasing the Hucha and receiving the Sami. This one's been quite a while. Quite a bit of tingling happening in the hands. Okay, that was done. Just going to reset that. Okay, next we're going to look at the polarity. So we're looking at the polarity for the Merkaba. I just did it overall. I'm not going to give you percentages for all of these things. I did do a percentage check, but because we're working with a group, I'm not going to give you the percentages. The percentages are more just for myself, just to check whether we're making progress. And then the emotion that we have, this is how we're going to go one at a time. So looking at the upward facing tetrahedron, the emotion that comes up here is belligerent. And this is about being hostile or aggressive or something like that, maybe to be like engage with conflict or something. And it's in relation to obedience. So where are you getting in conflict with obedience? Now remember also, this whole session today is about something that happened over the last 2 years. So we're working within the space. We're looking at hindrance in relation to the last 2 years and in relation to where you are sitting with what it is that you wanting to bring in. So belligerent in relation to obedience. How do you feel about that? What does it bring up for you? I'm going to scan through the fields. Now what I'm doing is I'm getting a field that is a field that represents all of us as a group. And I want to just scan through and see if there's any blockages, tears, or damage, or any dense energies here. So as I'm scanning through, the top half feels like it's really bright and shiny. And then it's literally like there's a crack running through the center. And the lower half is like quite like a mucousy gray, stale, stagnant, and cold. And then towards the bottom of this field, it is actually almost like a sedimentary buildup of like a blackish energy. Black in the base, it's not always a bad color, but I'm just feeling the top half is so bright and so radiant and vibrant. And then you've got this sort of, I would say below the waist, actually not even below the waist, below the diaphragm down is this gray, murky color. So let's clear and dissolve this. We're working with our white pendulum over here. And what have I got here? We're looking at electromagnetic, which is on the green meridian. And I've got positive green. And we're working on the first octave. It's a nice short one over here. So we're clearing and removing those tears and this field. Now this is moving actually really nice and fast. This pendulum, it sort of just went straight in. We're in the first octave, which is a spiritual level, and positive green is a detoxifying color. It's a purifying color. It cleanses and it balances. Oh, the spin's actually going quite fast. I'm surprised. But then again, we never know with these things. We can prepare, but we can't always be completely fully prepared for these. Okay, next we're bringing in, we're going on to the electric frequency, which is the red meridian, and we're bringing ultraviolet in again. Ultraviolet, where's my ultraviolet? UV. Okay, ultraviolet, and I'm working on the first octave again. Very short string for this one. And so now we're going to infuse this upward facing tetrahedron with light. So that tear in the crack was fixed, the mucousy gray was released, and now with the ultraviolet, we're just infusing the lower space with this high frequency light. So the top half light is actually now moving down to the bottom and circulating through. It's almost like, how can we put it? Like if you had colored water or something, we poured some bleach into it, I can actually almost see like clouds moving as the clear white energy is moving through that and circulating through. Okay, that one is done. Okay, reset. Right, then we're going to look at the downward facing tetrahedron, and the emotion that comes here is contentment, and it's in relation to taking on foreign energies. So contentment here is about being satisfied, being happy, being fulfilled, or there's a pleasure or cheerfulness or something like that. Okay, in relation to taking on foreign energy. Foreign energy is energy that does not belong to you, and usually foreign energy is not positive energy. Foreign energy is other people's crap. Where are you content to take on foreign energy? And how does that make you feel? And how does that make you act? And how does that make you react? Okay, where are we happy to take on other people's, I mustn't say it, crap. I'll just use the C word. It's better than the S word probably. But just allow yourself to tune into that one. Working on the magnetic frequency over here, we're going to clear first of all. So we're working with the black one. And we're bringing in the color red. And we're on the second octave, which is the mental emotional side. So let's clear and dissolve that frequency. Oh, wait, before I clear and dissolve, let me quickly just tune in and see what's happening in the field itself. Okay, so here when I tune into the field, on my left-hand side, which will be, if the person is facing me, the right-hand side, it looks like a dark, cloudy, it's almost like you've had dark clouds that solidified and became stone. And then on the opposite side, which will be the right side, there is some color, so it's lighter on the top towards the bottom. It goes more a little bit into the oranges and the sort of reddish browns. But again, the field here feels stagnant and stale. It feels almost like it fossilized into the space, especially that left-hand side, which is like the right-hand side. Okay, so let's clear that. What frequency am I working? I'm working red and octave 2. Which one? Let me just make sure I've got the correct space here. Magnetic, so I'm on blue. Blue, red, yeah, got it. Okay, so let's clear and dissolve that. So red is actually quite a nice color to bring in here because what it does, it warms up the space and it expands the energy and it revitalizes and stimulates. Also, it mobilizes. It really is a stimulating color over here. So getting things to move and circulate again. The spinner is actually really nice and strong over here. Breathe nice and slow and deep. Think about contentment in relation to taking on foreign energy. Okay, that was done. Now we're going to infuse with light. So we remain on the black pendulum store. We're looking at the electric frequency, which is the red. And we're bringing in red, infrared, and we're between red and infrared. Red, infrared. Okay. So this one's just got a little bit of a tricky location. And this is the second octave. We're bringing in interdimensional beings. So technically not a color. The interdimensional beings, these are the angels, archangels, ascended masters. And so if you've got a specific archangel or angel or ascended master that you like to work with, you can call that archangel or ascended master in. And so we are infusing with light at the moment. Now that we've cleared and dissolved the energies that were stagnant in this downward facing tetrahedron, we are now infusing with light. So call in whichever angel, archangel, ascended master, or saint you would like to work with. And if there is one, just repeat the name 3 times. Okay, that's done. Okay. Next, what I want you to do is imagine from the heavens a beam of light shining down, 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 and that beam of light is going all the way down into the center of the earth. So you've got this big column of light that you are sitting in. When I tune into this light again, the top part is actually not. There's a section just above the head area here where it feels quite bright. If I go a little bit further up, it feels like there's a bit of a murkiness. And then when we go down, there's that murkiness continues again. And then closer towards the center of the earth, there's a spot where it's bright again. So there's a few parts within this column where it feels like there's a murkiness flowing through this. Our emotion that comes up here is false pride, and it's in relation to chakra trauma. So false pride in relation to chakra trauma, whatever that may mean for you. Working on the electric frequency, and we're bringing interdimensional beings in again. Working with the white pendulum and working on frequency octave 1, which is in the spiritual level. So this is to clear and dissolve. So call in any angel, archangel, ascended master, or saint that you want to help to release and clear and cleanse and remove false pride in relation to chakra trauma. Okay, there we go. Next, we're going to infuse with light. We're still on the white one. We're working with the green spectrum, or the green meridian, and we're bringing in the frequency of gold, and this is on the second octave, so mental emotional side. So let's bring in and infuse with light, this column of light, bringing gold frequency in. So the gold actually will tie in with that Radiance card that we have right on top of our Tree of Life. Brings in this radiant golden ray. Purifies the mind of all negative thoughts. And allows us to just step into our own personal willpower and our own inner strength. Okay. Right, so next, let's move on magnetic frequency, and we bring the color yellow in. And we're on frequency number 1, or octave 1. And so I want you to focus on your heart space again. Just allow yourself to bring yourself into the center. Drop into the heart, sending in really static color of yellow. And this is a very stimulating color as well. Very good for the intellect. Very good for the lymphatic system, nervous system. Okay, good. Next one, we're working on our green meridian over here. We're bringing positive green in on the 3rd octave. Long string, very long string. So we're going to build a protective layer around our field, around the Merkaba. So just allow yourself to create a bubble of energy around you. And this bubble is going to filter through any energies coming towards you, so that only the energy that will pass will be pure love or divine love. And it will be energy that is for your greatest good and for the greatest good of all creation. With protective bubbles around, I like to see it as a big white bubble of light around me. And then I like to put a thin layer of indigo light around that. And then an orange layer, and then a pink layer, and then a gold layer. That's just my personal way of doing it. So do what works for you. So whatever you connect with. Whatever is going to give you that protection that you need. Okay, so let's go on. So now, done our green, and next we're moving on to orange. And this is on our 1st octave. So what I want you to do is I want you to focus on the upward facing and downward facing tetrahedrons. See them, one pointing up, one pointing down. and allow them to start spinning. So the top upward facing one is going to spin from your right shoulder to your left shoulder around the front. So right towards the left, right towards the left. And the downward facing one is going to spin from your left side towards the right side, left towards the right. So maybe focus just on one of these triangles first and allow it to spin. So upward facing one, right to left, downward facing one, left to right. And see if you can combine both of these spins. And I also ask that all messages that come your way be simplified so that whatever messages you receive from your soul, you can understand. And this is for the greatest good of all and also for the greatest good of yourself. Okay. And our last spin, electric, so we're in the red. And we're going to bring in, this is a weird one. For an end, it makes sense, actually. We're bringing in negative green. Now, negative green usually is something we do in small doses, and it's on a physical level. So negative green is a spiritual carrier wave. What it does is really like shake things up, so it loosens things up. So what we want to do is we want to just make sure that our flow correction is in place. So the flow within our column of light and also within these spinning Merkabas. So you continue to see these spinning Merkabas and you want to see the light beam flowing through. As we're doing this, we're asking that there's an abundance of light and love and laughter and joy into your life and into the life of those around you, so that you will always have what it is that you desire and everything that you need with ease and grace. And this is for the greatest good of all and all of creation. Okay, that's done. Oh, reset. Okay, now we need to get physical, or a little bit more active. So we want to just anchor this in. We want to balance these ones in. And what we were going to do is we are going to do this. Maybe I'll do a stop share so that you can see me better. What we're going to do is we're going to do eye rotations and temporal tapping. So when we talk about temporal tapping, it's the tapping on the mastoid process behind the ear. So I like to say from the earlobes back, there's this round bone. That's the good place to tap, but you can tap all the way around the ears if you want to. I like to put ring finger and thumb together, and then I use index finger and middle finger to do the tapping. That's the one aspect. Then we want to look in different directions. We're going to look up, diagonal, side, diagonal, down, diagonal, side, diagonal, up, and swap sides. We're going to go all the way around. And then you're doing that with eyes open and with eyes closed. And we're going to say, for the first round, we're going to say, I feel responsive. I feel responsive. So I'm going to do that now. You can do it on your side as well. I'm not going to tell you where I'm looking. So just remember, we want to stretch the eyes as much as possible. Look up, diagonal, side, diagonal, down, diagonal, and then all the way around. And you do it with eyes closed. So while your eyes are closed, you're also going to look in different directions. So I'm going to do that on my side. Ring finger, index finger together. And responsive, I feel. Okay, I feel responsive, 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 I feel responsive. It's okay if you start going a little bit like, whew, what's my words? Those are good. We are looking, the different directions that we're looking in is to activate different parts of the brain. And basically what we want to do is we want to do, it's like doing a find and replace throughout the brain for specific emotions. Last one we're going to do is I feel sensitive. Same story. Ring finger index and tap. I feel sensitive. 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 I feel sensitive, I feel sensitive, so I feel sensitive, 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 I feel sensitive. Okay. Right, so now I want to just very, very quickly go back to what we started with initially. Let's share again over here. I want you to just look at that black. Look at the black. Are you stuck in your ideas? Okay. Next, turn your head over to the left as far as you can. Do you take care of yourself? Let's turn the head over to the right side as far as you can. Do you take care of yourself? Okay. Just wanted to see if those ones still stuck, because then we had to clear them if they did, and they are cleared, so that's all good. I also usually check for an aura soma bottle at the end, just to, oh, I forgot to show you the universal pendulums. I had the little this thing out here, but I did show you. So that's what we worked with. And I down to see what aura soma bottle we need. So we've got a blue on top with orange at the bottom. This particular bottle is called Balance 72, or bottle number 72. And the name for the bottle is the Clown. And this is, the main theme for this is to release or free your sad clown, to get rid of the sad clown that no longer serves. So this is all about us knowing our emotional needs and to move into a space of independence. It's to allow us to get into contact with our own instincts, and very, very important, the ability to laugh at ourselves. It's also about being able to change your perspective on it constantly, so that you can always see things anew and afresh, that you always see things from a different direction and angle. The challenging aspect here, or the challenges, what it's wanting to highlight for us, is where we attract relationships with dependency. So this could be work relationships, could be family, it could be friends. Where are we developing relationships of dependency? And where do you have difficulty expressing your feelings? Where do we lack humor? So this bottle is really about bringing the humor into the situation again. On a spiritual level, it's about insights, it's about happiness, and it's about your inner truth, and also about bringing you back into a space of humility. On the mental level, this is about us understanding our mental processes, and so that we can differentiate between when it's the ego speaking and when it is our higher self speaking, because that's very important, so that we can distinguish between what does the ego sound like, what does the higher self sound like. On an emotional level, it is about how we care for our own emotional needs, and how we then express those emotional needs in a very healthy way. And very important, gives us the ability to laugh at ourselves and our situations in life. If we can't laugh at ourselves, if we can't laugh at the situations, everything is too serious, and then we're going to end up like just making things too heavy and too dense for us. Our affirmation for this one is, I let go of all tensions, so that in the space created, peace may enter in. So we let go of all tension so that we can allow peace in. Okay, so that concludes the healing work. There's just one thing left, and that is homework or support. I like to give homework and support because the homework and support allows you to anchor in the healing as well. Sure, you've sat here with me. Oh, it's an hour. You've sat with me for an hour. Just know that I've been busy for an hour before this recording, and I'll probably be busy for another hour after this recording to get everything ready for you. So you've spent an hour with me, but now you need to take a little bit of action. And the homework or the support that you need here is to consolidate energy leaks. Find out within your auric field where you have leaks and then consolidate those. So either go and see someone who does aura healing. I do aura healing, so you're welcome to see me, but it's also something that you can do for yourself. If you're familiar with your auric field and you're familiar with energy work, you can do that for yourself as well. And the other homework or support, now I'll probably say use this in moderation, but what comes up is YouTube. So perhaps even combine the two. Maybe find a YouTube channel where there's a meditation to consolidate energy leaks or something. Otherwise, YouTube could also indicate that you need to watch a few YouTube videos that's relevant to maybe your intention or where it is that you see yourself going goal-wise. Okay, so that concludes our healing session for today. I hope that there was some information that came through that was important for you and relevant. And let's see how things unfold in the next week or 2 or 3 or 4, depending on which subscription level you are at. And yes, so I will see you in the next subscription session. I'm sending you a lot of love and light and blessings. Take care.